And they wanted to answer one question. They said, how do you guys perform under pressure? How do you do so well when your life is on the line and everything's really intense, because that would help us out. So that's how all this started. And we'll go into that because we'll show you the system here in a second, but everything is geared around performing your best when the pressure is the most intense. Okay. And we have a very definitive way we go about this. So everything we talk about today and in the next coming sessions revolves around doing just that.
But in generalities, Lucky and I are going to teach you how the elite operators in the world, how they think and what made them mentally tough. Because we believe 100% that it can be taught. And we've got a track record of being able to teach guys how to hone their mental toughness so that when the pressure's on, they can block out all those things that are normally swimming around in your head that are negative influences on your ability to swing a golf club. In this case, we call those things fight killers. They're the things that kill your ability to fight through, the tough times. So we're going to teach you how to get rid of the fight killers, and then we're going to teach you some physical things you can do and some mental exercises you can do and some preparation that you can do in order so that when that hard shot is, maybe it's the last hole and you got to sink the putt to win the championship, how to get rid of all that crap that's normally in your head that would make you choke. Because the big thing is everybody talks about mental toughness. Right? How can you be mentally tough? How do SEALs become mentally tough? How do fighter pilots become mentally tough?
Same with our backgrounds, but when we start explaining our concepts and what we teach you guys, we relate everything we do to actual experiences that we've had throughout our career. So it's important to understand our careers, where we've been.
I was one of the guys that in the invasion of Panama, there was only 4 of us that have ever done it. And we had never done it before then and haven't done it since. But basically what we did was we followed some compasses and dove over across the Panama Canal and sunk one of Manuel Noriega's patrol boats that he was going to try to use to get out of Panama before we could get him. So I know not a lot of people know Operation Just Cause or the invasion of Panama, but that was our big claim to fame. When I say our big claim to fame, us 4, because since then, that was 1989, since then, SEALs have never done another combat swimmer attack. So it's kind of a big deal within naval special warfare. Obviously, it's a big deal to me.
Don't get this wrong, okay? We're not your easy button.
Nope.
We're not a magic pill, and we're not going to stand up here and spew Tony Robbins motivation at you guys. All right, because that's what frustrates us. You guys have seen SEALs and other guys standing up on stages and they say, don't give up or
never quit.
Discipline is the key, and just make your bed and all this kind of stuff, which it doesn't do anything for you, doesn't tell you anything, doesn't tell you how to do things. So we're going to try to tell you how, but in doing that, we can't make you do it.
All the guys, when I stood in the first lineup, they line you all up on the first day, and I stood there and I looked at some of these guys. Some guys were built better than me. They had longer legs than I did. They were better looking than I was, smarter than I was. Quit shaking your head. And I looked at him and I'm like, that guy will graduate.
I did a full 20. The last part of that tour, they sent me over to go work with the meatheads, the SEALs, and teach them how to talk to us. So they had to learn big words, and we had to get out a dictionary and teach them some things so we could drop bombs for them.
We're talking to the guys in the room that want to be pro golfers. Right? If you're hanging on with the coach just to keep your scholarship and get through college and get a degree, hey, more power to you. We're not taking away from that. But what we're teaching you is how to think like an elite operator, how to think on an elite sports level so that you become a professional golfer.
We think these are the 3 things that make up a competitor, a warrior, if you will. And if you excel at any one of them, you can be great and you can get to where you can be good and get to where you're going. You can get to the PGA Tour by being fantastic in any one of those areas. All right. You can be great with 2 of those areas. And you can be an absolute legend if you develop all 3, okay? So those are the 3 things we're going to focus on.
Or suck your thumb, right? There's a lot of thumb suckers out there. And that's all they do. And they cry and they whine and they moan and they complain and they think about how bad it was and what everybody thought about them. But damn, okay? Those are the last thoughts you need swimming around in your head. It's a fight killer. It's a debilitating fight killer. And it's those kind of things that you got to get out of your head.
And the crucial part of this is, if you know these things, then you cannot believe that anybody is actually better than you. All right. This comes naturally to some people. All right. Some people have the upbringing, they have just the natural inclination, the mental ability to just kind of know that they need to know these things, but a lot of people don't. So you need to be rock solid in this so you can kind of stand up to other people, because the questions that come into your mind come when you start wondering, is this guy going to beat me? Is he better than me? Am I better than him?
The rest of our crew in the morning and actually attack that target. So you never attack anything that you don't have any information on. So they dropped us in the water and we started swimming. It was just us. We were really light on gear and we're swimming, and we're not 30 feet away from the boat that dropped us off. And I see this big splash behind me, and I looked at my new guy and I'm like, dude, keep your fins in the water. We don't need splashing on the surface so the bad guys will see us. And he just looked at me and goes, yeah, that wasn't me. I'm like, yeah, right. I'm thinking this guy's kind of dreaming. We didn't swim more than 20 feet, and I got bumped by a shark. And I'm like, holy
everything
shit.
else is the same, right? If we screw up and live, then we can become a pariah. We can be laughed at. We can be a joke in our community. Our families can suffer. We could not go further in our careers and make less money, and then my sons suffer. All the stuff is the same. So people get into this, well, you guys fought for your lives, so it's different. Everything's the same. It's competition. It's the same thing in a sport as it is in war. There's just one difference, okay? And we're never going to trivialize that, but you need to understand the difference in that, okay? So
That's the whole goal, right? Is that when you're in the bubble of clear thought, you're only thinking about executing. And then you got to turn it off, because your brain can't handle being 100% focused for every waking moment of the day. You can't do it until, such a time that you develop the ability to do that.
And the more nonconformist they could be, then people will think that they're so interesting and fascinating. Well, unless you actually do something or work for something or truly achieve, then no one's ever going to believe you're special.